Hey guys, Nick here from Attrell Toyota here in the Brampton Auto Mall, and you are looking at the 2021 Toyota Highlander XLE Hybrid all-wheel drive. That is a mouthful, but it is a beautiful, beautiful vehicle, and you're looking at it wrapped in our beautiful Blizzard Pearl White. We do have a couple of other additional colors to choose from. We have Ruby Flare Pearl Red, Opulent Amber, Blueprint, Magnetic Gray Metallic, Celestial Silver Metallic, as well as Midnight Black Metallic. So many different colors to choose from. If you're checking out this video and this is not the color you happen to have, that's okay, because these cars are identical inside except for the exterior color itself. As we look to the side, you're going to see that there's some updates for 2021. You got a nice beautiful grille on the front here for this XLE. We at Toyota jokingly call it the mustache grille, as it kind of has that little bit of a look on the front. But it actually shows our emblem that has two different purposes for it. Not only just is it to show that this is a Toyota, and with the blue outline it shows that it's a hybrid, but it actually is used to hide our Toyota radar technology that we use for our pre-collision system, as well as for our dynamic full range cruise control. So as we come around the side, you're going to see that this has beautiful 18-inch alloy rims down here at the bottom. Beautiful, exclusive for our XLE packages. As you can see, if you get an XLE gas, you will get similar rims, but this is for our hybrid. And as we come around the side, you're just going to see this vehicle has some beautiful body lines. It's a gorgeous look. I can't wait to show you the inside, as it has just a beautiful interior. But as we come around the back, you're just going to see it's got a beautiful body line around the back. The headlights fit perfectly in the front, but the tail lights fit beautifully right here seamlessly along the back, giving it a nice sporty look. Toyota has definitely upped their game in the styling of the vehicles on the outside as well as on the inside, but also our performance as well. As we come around the side, you're going to see those 18-inch alloys again, just really bring this truck all together in this beautiful paint scheme, body lines, as well as just the look of it right here at the front. So as we come around the front, you'll just see that this is the new look for the Highlander. Highlander made this change officially in 2020, and the actual outside exterior look is carried over for 2021. I personally like this look a lot better. This is on the TNGA platform, and I think that Toyota really knocked it out of the park at how they've really updated this vehicle all the way around. Now take a second here, and we're going to go inside the truck. Hey guys, as you can see, we are inside the 2021 Toyota Highlander XLE Hybrid, and as you can see, this is a beautiful cabin. It is so well spaced out, very roomy, but also very intuitive for the driver. As you can see, everything is within a very close reach for those driving, and Toyota does this on purpose to really mitigate any kind of distraction for the driver. As you can see, my sight lines from looking at the road to looking down at the steering wheel are very, very intuitive, very close, and the first thing I want to show you is this steering wheel. In fact, as Toyota's taken some time to really make sure that all of your stuff is at a push of a button right close to the driver's hand, so that you really don't ever have to take your hands off the steering wheel. Now, as we look over here, you'll be able to see that there is a multi-directional pad here for our multi-information display. You also have volume controls, voice assistant, which does pair well with our Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, as well as our phone button, where you'll be able to answer and disconnect phone calls respectively. Now, as you move over to the side here, you'll be able to see that we also have our Toyota Safety Sense buttons for our dynamic range cruise control, as well as our lane tracing assist. And you finally also have our cruise control, which is right here. Now, traditionally, cruise control used to be down here for older Toyota models, but now they've moved it right onto the steering wheel. And I think that is really, really handy, because it keeps the driver's hand directly on the steering wheel and really mitigates anybody having to look down or look away and take their eyes off the road. Finally, you have a mode button, which will help you switch between your Apple CarPlay, your AM/FM radio, or your Bluetooth or Sirius satellite radio respectively. And then finally, you have a track button where you'll be able to change stations or be able to change songs that you're listening to on your playlist. Now, give me just a second as we start this up. It's important to hear that all you hear are a couple of chimes. You don't actually hear an engine start, and that is one of the ways that we can definitely say that we are in a hybrid. Toyota hybrids are notoriously quiet for when they start up, and the reason is that there's no real use for using the gasoline engine at this point because the car is simply sitting idle. We know that over the years, all these greenhouse gases and everything like that are actually produced by vehicles really cause problems for our environment. So Toyota is saying, if you don't need to idle your engine, then don't idle your engine. And so what the hybrid system does is, until the battery needs to be charged, it actually stays off, but allows you to still play your music, still allows you to listen to the radio, as well as use all the functions inside your climate control system as well. Now, as we look up to the front, I want to show you a little bit more of this multi-information display. Now, this is our 7-inch multi-information display that has all kinds of different options for you to use, all kinds of different information that's right there, intuitive for the driver to see, so that they can make decisions respectively and accordingly in a very quick amount of time. Now, first off to the side here, you're going to see you have a charge, eco, and power indicator that's going to show you when you're charging your battery, as well as when you're driving in a more economic fashion, as well as when you're driving for power. Now, power is when you're trying to pass someone on the highway or when you're trying to pick up speed off a light, but eco is really where you want to be most of the time, as eco is where you're going to spend the least amount of time in the gas station and the least on gas. So charging is the last and final thing that's really, really handy, as it shows you that you're actually charging the battery of this hybrid. Now, I want to take a moment and just zoom out for a second and show you this eco indicator. On our 8-inch touchscreen, we actually offer this wonderful eco indicator that shows you where the power is being distributed throughout the car itself. So is the engine producing all the power? Is the electric motor producing all the power? And how are you getting that power, and where is it being distributed at the moment? So right now, as we're sitting idle, the battery is actually running the vehicle. Now, should we ever have to get below a certain time in the battery, what will actually happen is the engine will start to charge the battery while we sit idle. The beautiful thing about that is you never actually have to plug these cars in. So you get all the benefits of having the battery power and the electric motor without having to plug the vehicle in at night. Plus, you also get the wonderful safety and satisfaction of having a gasoline engine for those longer trips, so that you don't actually have to wait and charge your vehicle while going to the cottage. Now, as we move back over to the side, I want to cycle through some of the information that you're going to get within this multi-information display. Now, I'm going to go back to these directional pads on the steering wheel, and I'm going to show you that you have all kinds of different information that you can use. Now, right now it's showing eco and showing how well we're driving, or lack thereof, right now as we're driving it just around the lot. It also shows the distance to empty. Now, you can see that the car has below half a tank, but still has 173 kilometers to a tank left that you can use it. So it's very important to know that this vehicle is absolutely phenomenal gas. I'm going to get a little bit more to that later on in the video, but it's important to know that if you're looking for fuel economy, the hybrid is the way to go, specifically a Toyota hybrid. As we move through, you're also going to see that there are different indicators that show who is sitting in what seat in the back. Now, what's nice about this is for families is you can tell if the passenger in the back has their seatbelt on or not. So as you can see that this button in the front, or this light in the front, is indicating that I'm sitting in the driver's seat and I actually don't have my seatbelt on. Now, I'd put my seatbelt on if I could, but I'm holding onto a camera, so I'm actually not going to show you that. But the nice thing is if you have people in the back, you can also see if they're wearing their seatbelts, and moms and dads can check and make sure that their kids are actually following the rules. One thing to be aware of, though, is that if you have a heavy backpack or a large box or something in the back, rest assured that this seatbelt status symbol could be on. So just let yourself know that it's nothing wrong with the vehicle, but it is a weight sensor that they use to be able to indicate whether someone is there or not. Now, as we cycle through, you're going to see our Toyota Safety Sense hub that shows all of the different options that we have. We've got lane tracing assist, pre-collision, which is on, as well as our dynamic range cruise control, blind spot monitor, and rear cross traffic safety alert. Now, it's important to know you can turn these settings off, and they will stay off until you manually turn them back on again. But it's important to know that Toyota always advises that you leave these on so that your vehicle can keep you the safest as possible. Toyota as a brand has really taken time to make sure that we mitigate as many accidents as possible, and so we put this technology in standard on all of our vehicles to really try and keep people as safe as possible. And the only way to guarantee that safety, or at least to not even guarantee it, but to even give people a semblance of safety, is to allow these safety features to actually do their job while you're driving and keep you safe. As we move up, you'll be able to see the energy monitor. This is going to show you where the energy is being distributed. This is an all-wheel drive vehicle with the Highlander, and you're going to have all-wheel drive I technology, which means it's going to show you where the wheels are actually, where the power is being sent to what wheels and when. The beautiful thing about Toyota all-wheel drives is that really most of the time you're spent using front wheel drive power only, and you only need to use the rear wheel tires and all four respectively when you need to. So the vehicle itself is actually trying to give you the best fuel economy at all times while keeping you safe. As we move up one more time, you can also see audio off. This is where you're going to be able to see what song is playing, what playlist you have on, and what source you're getting it from. Finally, you also have our driver support for when you're on cruise control. This is going to help keep you inside the lanes while you're driving. This Toyota Highlander specifically, as I zoom out, actually has lane keeping assist, where what you're going to be able to do is driving down the road, if you're starting to drift over the line, the car will gently bring you back into the line. Now, some people can get a little bit freaked out by that, thinking that it's going to, scare you or kind of cause you to swerve. But the reality is it's very gentle. It helps you, and it just kindly guides you over so that you stay within the lane, which is very helpful for driving, especially at night if you're not able to see where the lines are. And then finally, it brings us back to our fuel economy gauge, which is going to show you again how to drive the most economically. Now, a couple other things to show you. At the bottom here, you will have a temperature gauge showing the outside. It's a little bit chilly this morning here in the summer. You will see that there is a P that is going to show you whether you're in park, reverse, neutral, drive, respectively. And finally, you do have your odometer. Now, I want to cycle through the odometer for just a second to show you. For those of you who like to gauge your trips for mileage or such things, you can run through, go to trip A, trip B, as well as our odometer respectively. So that is just really some of the coolest features that you can show on the multi-information display. Now, as I zoom out a little bit more, I want to show you a little bit more of this multi-information display, this 8-inch touchscreen display that we have here. I apologize. And I'll bring you back to the menu to show you. You have a couple of different options here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. You do have the audio options, which are here, which you can use. You can use your Sirius satellite radio. You can use AM, FM, Bluetooth, Spotify if you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, respectively. So there's a bunch of different options of music or radio or podcasts to listen to. You also can register your phone with Bluetooth so that you're able to receive and send phone calls or messages. And then we already have seen this eco indicator. As you can see, the engine is now charging our battery so that it stays up enough. Finally, once we go to our menu button, you'll see the full array of different options: audio, phone, the different apps that you can set up for our Remote Connect, Safety Connect, and Service Connect, as well as our projection screen for our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, as we come back down here, I want to show you our different climate control options that we have in here as well. You do have heated seats for both the driver and the passenger, respectively, in the front seat. You do have different opportunities for front and rear, so dual zone climate control, where you can have different climate in the back, different climate in the front, and you can even have different climate between the driver and the passenger, respectively, as well. Finally, the last thing I really want to show you is you have your shifter here for our driver, where you are able to shift over into and select different gear ranges while you're driving on the road. I'm just going to show you that. Pardon my finger. Where you can actually shift into different gear ranges. It's not gears itself, it's actual gear ranges, just to keep our transmission safe. Finally, you do also have a couple of different drive modes. You have sport mode, eco mode, and normal mode. Eco mode will really save you a ton in gas mileage, as it will really help your throttle response so that you're not speeding so much and that you're actually driving the car as economically as possible. And then finally, you have a couple of different options here: traction control, EV mode, which you can actually set to make sure that you're under 40 kilometers. You'll be able to drive exclusively in electric power itself. Please note that if you do not have enough battery power to run this, the car will let you know so that you actually can't get into eco mode. Or EV mode, I should say. Finally, you have trail mode for our all-wheel drive. If you're ever going off-road, or if you're in snow or something like that, it's always nice to add the trail mode just to let the car know that, hey, we're driving in some inclement weather and it may be needed to adjust our all-wheel drive respectively. And then finally, you have your electronic parking brake as well as your brake hold feature as well. So this car is very, very, very well equipped. All kinds of different stuff to look at, all kinds of different features that the driver and passenger can take advantage of respectfully, and really just a comfortable feel altogether. Now give me just a moment as we check out the back seat. Hey guys, all right, now here we are in the back seat, and you can see there's a lot to look at and a lot to take advantage of. First thing I want to show you first is that there is this beautiful panoramic moonroof. Now, I did not mention this in the front because I wanted to show you just how much it actually opens up the cabin here in the back seat. It does tilt as well as open completely, and there is a nice little handy cover up here to close it so that you can get a little bit darker in here at night if need be. But this is a beautiful, beautiful scenic view. It really opens up the back of the cabin here and really shows a lot of light in here, and just opens up and gives a nice, beautiful sight line for those sitting in the back. Now, one of the coolest features about sitting in the back of the Highlander is that, especially for big guys like myself, there's tons of room. There's actual huge amounts of space here in the back, and my seat was put right comfortably at the back. I wasn't too close to the steering wheel. I actually could lounge out a bit, and there's still tons of room in the back seat. Easily could fit a number of bigger people in the back, and it would not faze anyone at all. Now, I mentioned earlier that you do have different rear climate control back here. This is your settings for such thing. You can actually turn the fan on, and you can adjust all of your settings as you wish. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit higher so you can kind of hear it. You can adjust where it goes, whether it's on your feet or your head. Just your feet, just your head, whatever you wish. You can turn it off manually so that if you want it to be a little bit warmer back here, a little bit cooler, the passengers in the back can decide. The nice thing also too is you can turn it on really easily as well, and you can adjust your temperatures as you wish. So the nice thing is that if the driver wants it to be nice and warm up front and you want it to be cool in the back, everyone can be happy. No one has to fight over the controls anymore. You finally do also have a couple of USBs at the bottom to be able to charge whatever device you may be using here in the back seat. Now, one other thing I want to show you that I think is really, really cool that Toyota has done, and I'm just going to open my seat here. I'm going to get out, back up, is this really handy shade screen that we have put in the back for parents. Now, traditionally, you used to have to buy these, but on our previous Highlanders, we brought this out and we've kept it, and I think it's super handy. Brings a nice extra feature for parents who are using this. It's a great family vehicle, but even if you're in the back and you just want to keep things a little bit more shaded or a little bit more out of sight, you can also use it that way as well. So all in all, a very spacious, very well-equipped back seat. You also have a center console that does come down should you want to have some drinks in the back if there's only two of you. It's a very, very comfortable back seat, well equipped, very comfortable seating itself, and all in all, it really, really does help out the passengers and bring this vehicle into being a very, very useful family vehicle all in all. Now let's check out the trunk. All right, guys, now this Highlander is an 8-passenger vehicle, and as you can see, the seats are brought down, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually raise them up. You grab this seat here, lock this up, pull that seat up, and you already have another seat ready to go. Now, the other seats underneath our mats here are just as easy to lift up, and it really does open up this cabin to give you enough space to bring the whole family, the whole crew, the whole team, whoever may be traveling with you. Now, to close it is just as easy, where you can snap this up, fold it down, let the seat fold down, head folds into its seat, and you now have a ton of space in the back seat to be able to go to IKEA, go to the grocery store, go to hockey games, hockey tournaments, whatever you may need. It's also nice to know that the second row seats also fold down respectively as well to really increase the amount of size that you can fit in the back of this vehicle. So Toyota really has put the utility in sport utility vehicle. Now, as you can see, we got a wonderful powered trunk here, powered liftgate. So I can close this liftgate, sends a nice chime, very easily closes down. Now, the beautiful thing of this is there's actually 3 different ways that you can close and open and close this trunk itself. So you can use the key fob. There's a little button at the front by the driver's side by the steering wheel that you can use, and you can also just do a one-touch button on the back here, and this will open up your liftgate. So it really makes it easy for parents. If you're picking up after school, you can just press a button and not even have to leave the cabin. If you're walking back from the grocery store or IKEA, you can actually press the button on your key fob and it will actually lift it up as well. Or you can just walk up and press a button respectfully. So it's a very wonderful, intuitive system. And one last thing that I do want to show you, it comes in a box, but but is very handy, is we do actually offer a tonneau cover for the back seat as well, so that you can actually keep your purchases really safe. You can slide it up to keep the heat off of anything that you have in the back, as well as to make sure that other people are not snooping at your stuff. Now wait 1 second as we check out the last and final step of this video, which is the engine. All right, guys, we're at the last part of the video, and usually the one that everyone loves the most, which is looking at the engine. Now, as I mentioned before, this Highlander is actually powered by a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine paired with our Toyota Hybrid Synergy drive. Now that produces a net horsepower rating. So when you combine what the electric power does as well as the engine, 243 horsepower, which is more than enough to move this beast around. But what I want to show you is really that it is a humble beast. As we come around the side, I want to show you the fuel economy on this vehicle, and I'll show you the sticker. You can see I'm having a really bad hair day. Forgive me for that. But you can see that there is a 6.7 liter combined fuel economy rating for this beast. Now, to put that into perspective, I'm going to make my way over here and show you this vehicle. This is a Toyota LE all-wheel drive RAV4, and it is a gas model, and it produces a mere 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers combined, which actually tells you that this beast makes better fuel economy than that smaller RAV4. So as you can see, it delivers a ton of power, a lot of fun, a lot of luxury, but it also keeps you well far away from going to that gas station all the time. So if you're interested in this 2021 Toyota Highlander XLE all-wheel drive hybrid, like I said, it's a mouthful, we'd love for you to come on in, take it for a test drive, meet one of our awesome sales staff who'd love to help you get this in your driveway today. Have an awesome day. Take care.